Well, it's December 4th, 2025, and our year-round tropical update. We're going to give you a look at some of our plants that we like to have for greenery year-round, and we found that this is nice to have, especially in zones 6, 7, and 8, where you're going to have some kind of blah months if you don't have a lot of greenery around in the winter. So having this evergreen all year round is real important, I think, and should be something you take a look at for your garden. So we're going to look at the top plants that I use here in Tennessee, Zone 7, to achieve this year-round tropical look. And we're going to show you how you can do it too in Zone 6, 7, and 8. And so here we go. We're going to take a look. And here for our first plant that we're going to take a look at. There's very few plants around that can survive zone 6, 7, or 8 that are evergreen and pretty and are not like bushes or evergreen trees. But here's one of them. This is Acuba japonica. This is also known as the gold dust plant. It has glossy green, and there's all types of varieties of these. This is one of the common varieties you'll find in the nursery. These speckled leaves. These can take down to about zone 6B or so, down to 0 Fahrenheit or so with little damage, maybe a little bit below. They thrive a little bit better in a more shady area, so you can use them for some of your underplantings. Not sure how big they get. They grow fairly slow, but this one's been here a couple of years. We like them a whole lot. They're really tough, and they really give you that winter color that you're going to need for those 5 or 6 months when nothing else is growing real well. But you'll have this to take a look at. So it's best to interplant some of these type plants in your plantings to have a year-round tropical look. And so next we'll go on and take a look at our next thing. Next we have a Fatsia japonica, also known as the Japanese Aurelia. These plants here, I would recommend them more for zone 7B or 8A and up. We've had them die back a couple of years here now, so this one's not all that big. They come in different varieties, kind of a glossy leaf. This is a variegated, and they also have one here called a spider web. These like kind of shady. I think in northern climates they can tolerate a little more sun. They like rich soil, and if you don't have these die back to the ground, they'll kind of create like a small tree, 6 to 8 feet tall, and have a really tropical looking leaves on them. So especially if you're in one of the higher zones like a zone 8, this is especially a good choice for you. If you're in the zone 7 or so, you might experience some dieback like we've had. So that's it. Go on to our next one. Now, if you're in zone 6B or up, you can grow these Sabal minor, which you'll see at the bottom here of this Trachycarpus fortunei. I like to layer them as like a foundation plant under some of our larger tropical plants here. And these, especially if you're in zone 6, you can plant them up on the south side of your house is the best protected spot. They can take down to about 0 Fahrenheit and do really well. They might get a little spotting down to 0, down below 0. They might take some frond damage and die back to the ground some. If you have snow cover or something, that might protect them. But anyway, this is one of your best all-around tropical plants that you can use in zone 6, and like we use it here, we use it under some of our other taller palms, and so you get that layered tropical look at all time. You got your larger windmill palm there, and under it you got your Sabal minors. Those are 3 or 4 foot tall, so don't let this picture deceive you. Very good plant for zone 6B and up. Zone 6, plant it on the south side of your house. And here next on our list we have bamboo. The bamboo we keep here, we have some other segments on it you can take a look at on our channel where we grow it in pots. All of ours is grown in pots, or this one's in a trough. This is Bassetti bamboo, and this is especially cold hardy. It's a running bamboo. You can grow this in zone 6B and up in a pot, or zone 6 maybe in the ground. I recommend them, especially if you're around other plants, to grow them in pots like we do. We grow them in 20 to 35 gallon pots, or these long troughs that you can get like at TSC or a farm supply. But these bamboo like this, even in the pot, are super tough. These have taken down to the negative Fahrenheit temperatures, -6 in the pot, with very little damage, just a little leaf damage. They stay green all year. They drop a few of the leaves in the winter time, and summer they're the prettiest looking when they have their full green leaves, but they stay green all year, and so nice to have. Good instant privacy, or that tropical feel during the winter. And speaking of year-round tropical, we have our needle palms, which are the hardiest as far as the leaf hardiness of the palms. Some of them can take a little rot damage, especially in the first few years or when they're small, if they're planted in cold, wet locations, maybe in zone 6 or so. These can take zone 6 as long as you're careful with them. For the first couple of years, I recommend covering them or protecting them in cold, wet. Sometimes they can lose that main trunk that's been grown probably in Florida or somewhere. So anyway, our needle palm is great for year-round greenery. It has these great glossy green fronds. Stay this way year-round. The fronds don't take any damage till about -5 or -10 or lower. And the palm, once it gets this size, can sustain when it's established the wet, cold at least. Here in Tennessee, we have people that have grown these years and years and years, and through all types of wet and cold winters, negative temperatures, and they'll survive once they get established. If you go north of Tennessee, you want to be a little careful, especially when they're small, first couple of years. Cover them, at least dry cover them for the winter if you can. When temperatures get wet and cold, maybe 10 or 15 and below, just depends on what you want to do there, just to keep the main trunk from rotting there that first couple of years. And once you get a few pups and everything, because this is a multi-trunk palm, bushy palm, you'll be fine. And these can get anywhere from 6 feet, 8 feet tall or more. And it's best to plant most of these palms, especially in the north, in full sun if you can. They'll grow the fastest. Anyway, there's needle palm. There's a look at the trunk forming on this one. About, see a little offshoot there to the side. Most of these needle palms have 4 or 5 little pups or offshoots. And there's a good choice. And speaking of tough and year-round greenery, this plant can take down to around 0 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you blow that, it'll probably come back from the ground. This is a cast iron plant. And true to its name, this thing is very tough. Usually grown in part full shade. This is one of the ones like you see at most of the nurseries, the full green. They also have speckledy and different types. The green one appears to be the most cold hardy. Other exotic types don't seem to be quite as cold hardy. It doesn't spread too aggressively, but it's good to intermix in these lower plantings or that you want to keep for evergreen. Low maintenance, don't really have to do anything to these things. I cut off a few of the old ragged leaves every now and then. But anyway, that's a view of the cast iron plant. You usually find these just in the nurseries or in like a Lowe's or Home Depot, just in the indoor part, where they show like the house plants. Surprisingly, it's one of the toughest things you can put out. Now, if you're in zone 7B or an 8A and don't want to protect, you can probably get away with a windmill palm, which is good and hardy down to about 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and start taking some frond damage under that. If you're in a other zone, higher, lower than that or whatever, colder than that, a lot of people protect these palms because they're pretty easy to protect, and you can look at some of our videos on how to do that. But this palm is good for giving year-round greenery. Here in 7B Tennessee, usually 2 to 3 weeks a year, we get some cold temperatures that might affect these palms, where they have to be protected. About 50% of the years here, these don't have to be protected. But this is one of your staple large palms that you can use to give that evergreen tropical. Really can't beat it for tropical effect in the colder zones. And if you're in a 7B or zone 8 or so, you have these other Sabal palms that you can do, a Sabal palmetto, a Sabal Birmingham, a Sabal brazoriensis, some of the Sabal hybrids that are out there. And you can grow those, and those are going to give you a good year-round effect. And eventually they're going to get a little bit larger than the Sabal minor and that sort of thing. This one's starting to form a good trunk down there. This one's about 6, 7 foot tall. Anyway, there's a good look at all the plants you can use to get your year-round tropical, and we hope you're having a good day, and hopefully this winter is going to be kind to us this year, and we'll see you later.